everyone, it's Rosemae, and you're watching Partum Love, helping you become the very best that you can be. This evening, I am here with Dave. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing very well. So, you mentioned that it was really hard coming to this country from Grenada and facing bullying in school. Talk to us more about your experience.
Well,
and how did you get through it?
Well, for me, it was very hard coming into this country. First of all, I didn't speak how everyone else spoke.
Yes.
My accent was very different.
Yes.
And so that was one of the first things I think that they targeted me for. I didn't speak like them.
Yes.
So they would say, "Where you're from? You're from the woods. You're from the mountains. You're from here." And so saying
They
that
said
I was
that?
they said
From
that.
the woods, from the mountains?
It wasn't really a popular thing at that time to be a West Indian, to be a Caribbean person. And so any difference they would target me for.
Yes.
And then the clothing. In my country, I would wear a uniform.
Yes.
But when I came here, you would wear regular clothes. And my mom, she wasn't in the tune with that. So she would say things like, "You're not a model, so I'm not buying nice clothes for you to go to school. You go to learn." So that's another thing that they would bully me for, and so on.
So you really stood out. But in that environment, you stood out for the wrong reasons.
Right, to them.
So you
at least,
became
yeah.
to them.
Right,
so
right.
you became a target.
Right, right.
Wow, my goodness. So, wow. And you mentioned you stood out because you didn't wear the clothes that they were wearing.
Wow.
They were more casual clothes. You were brought up in uniform in Grenada, so that's what you wore to go to schools here in America, in New York, in Brooklyn.
Right.
You were in Brooklyn.
I was in Brooklyn.
Okay, so that's one way you stood out, and the way you talked, your accent and so forth. Okay, so what were some of the things they did to make you feel uncomfortable or like you're not welcome? Or to bully?
Well, first of all,
In what ways?
if I spoke, they would try to mimic me.
Interesting.
Didn't sound right, and in other words, try to highlight that I sounded bad to them or weird to them.
Yes.
Then secondly, they would tease me because of my clothing. Then third, the nice girl in the class liked me, which was crazy for them. They would beat me up for that. So about 10 to 12 of them every day. And my mom worked 2 jobs, and she would come in, I think she would like come twice a week, pull me away from them, grab one, that one would get suspended, and then it would be more again the next day and so on.
So they would do it even more?
Yeah,
It was non-stop?
Yeah, it
Was this in elementary school?
Elementary school, PS9.
Up to what grade? 5th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade?
The bullying was, I think, 1 school year, really.
So it was
After
1
that,
school year?
1 school year.
How old were you?
I was, at the time, I think I was 8, if I'm not mistaken.
So you were maybe in the 3rd grade?
Yeah.
About the third?
Yeah, about the 3rd grade,
Third grade.
Yeah.
Okay, so wow, that's really young to have to go through all of that.
It was really bad.
And that must have been really hard for your mom, trying to give you, working to give you a better life here in this country, and then having to see that you were going through such a hard time in school. And that's where she wanted you to learn and succeed. What parent wants to hear that their child is being bullied? And who wants to be bullied?
Right.
So how did it make you feel when you were bullied? How did it make you feel at the time?
Well, it made me feel like maybe something was wrong with me. Because I was the only one actually getting beaten like that. The other kids in the class weren't. So I felt maybe I was out of place. I wanted to go back to Grenada. That wasn't a valid thing at the time.
It wasn't an option.
That's where we were staying.
Yes.
So that was life for me. Then I had a younger brother, and I didn't want him to get involved in that. I would tell him to run ahead, and then it would be the assault on me. And that's.
So he watched you get beat up.
Yeah, I would tell him to run though, because I didn't want that to happen.
And
to
he
him.
was your older brother.
No, he was the younger brother.
Oh, you're the older. Okay.
I'm the older.
So you figured. So how did you deal with it? The best way, it sounds like you kind of were just calm and you just took it as it was.
Yeah.
You weren't aggressive. You didn't fight back in any way.
Well, you couldn't fight 12 boys.
Okay.
You punched one, you got kicked in the face, you got knocked in your ribs, I was on the floor. So I tried to retaliate as much as I could, but you really couldn't do too much. These guys would just set on me, so I would tell my brother to run, because I believe that because I was born first, I'm the leader. And I have to suffer the consequences, and he have to get away and so on. So I felt like I had to protect him in that way. I take the licks, and you run and so on.
And how do you think that made him feel?
Well, of course, probably it made him feel really helpless.
Did they pick on him because they knew he was your brother?
No, we looked different, and he was in a different class. So I came out one section, he came out the other. He would see me, and I would signal him to run. So they didn't know.
And this happened every day you would get beat up?
Every day for like a whole school year.
For one whole school year?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Every day. Every day, every day. My mom did
hard.
the best she could. She came up twice a week. She worked 2 jobs and tried to pull me away and so on, and then again and again and again. So that stopped when I got involved in, gang life.
Now talk to us about that. So you got involved into gang life.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because at that particular time, if you get involved in a gang, you have the protection from the gang. So then they would know, they would come up to the school and they would let these kids know he's with us now.
So don't pick on him or else you'll have to
touch him-
suffer the consequences.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it was bad in one way to be involved in that lifestyle, that negative activity, but it afforded me protection for myself and for my brother.
Yes.
So that I didn't want to be in the gang.
And there was also camaraderie, I would imagine, that you didn't have being a newcomer.
A sense of identity. They didn't tease me.
Yes.
They didn't ridicule me for my difference. My clothing didn't mean anything to them. And so that went on and went on and went on. And
So it was really hard on you.
It was very hard.
Very hard on you. What were some of the things other than joining a gang that you did at the time to help you get through it? And I could imagine you getting up in the morning thinking, oh my God, another day. Oh my goodness, how is this day going to turn out?
Yeah. It was really,
How did you
really bad.
get through the day?
It was tough. It was tough for me. I knew I had to go to school.
Yes.
It was non-negotiable at the time. My mom knew. She didn't know this was happening every day. I didn't want to tell her. I would come home and she would ask me how things that I would say was good. Because I knew that, when she saw me in that position, it was help. I saw the look on her face of helplessness. She tried to get one child suspended, another child would come, and so on and so on. I would speak to the teacher.
You would speak to the teacher first.
Which and then would speak to the principal, superintendent.
Yes.
They would, kind of single out certain of the students, and they would lie. Oh, we don't know. He fought with him. So maybe
So
there
they
was an
assumed
incident.
you were part of the problem.
Yeah.
They didn't see it as a cycle of abuse.
Yeah. They didn't see it in that way. And these guys would lie. They would never admit what they were doing. And maybe 1 or 2 would stand up and say, well, he hit us first or whatever, that person would get in trouble. But then, so it made me feel like going to the teachers wouldn't be of any help for me. And so every day I just toughened up myself. I knew that today was another fight. I was going to get jumped again. That was just about it. And so I went into that frame of my brain where I just accepted this as life. That's what it was going to be. I didn't have anyone else to turn to in the environment because I was the only foreign person apparently.
So you joined gang life. How was that like?
Oh, it was really bad. I mean, at that particular time, you would sell drugs.
And there was initiation, I would imagine.
Well, it wasn't so much in that what you would hear hazing and this type of stuff now. It was just more so your loyalty is tested. They would give you a gun. You'd have to, sell whether it's, crack, whatever it may be. And, you'd be with a group. If they robbed somebody, you had to be involved. Even if you punched them one time, you had to do it. Whatever they did, you had to do. And that ensured a code of connection in between us. We stand together. I knew that I wasn't getting beat up anymore. My brother was safe, I was safe. So I did what I felt I had to do to ensure that the protection would continue. And so that happened for some time, for years, and then
Did your mom and your brother know that you were in a gang?
My brother knew.
He knew, your younger
because
brother.
he didn't see me get beat up again.
Oh.
And I didn't have to wave him run anymore.
Okay, and did
So
he
he knew.
participate in the gang activities?
I
Just
didn't-
you?
Yeah, just-
But he knew.
Yeah, but
did he tell mom? No.
No, he didn't. Mom was happy because I wasn't getting beat up anymore.
But she didn't know why.
She didn't know why. She just thought that, I was being broken into the culture, so to speak, and things were good now. And that happened for some time, and then we moved from Crown Heights to
How long
Bed-Stuy.
were you in the gang? For how many years?
For a couple of years.
2 years.
Maybe more than that.
So you were in the gang for a couple of years?
About maybe about 4 years.
Did you join the gang after 3rd grade? When? In 4th grade?
That's a good question.
When did you join the gang? Because you said it was happening for one school year in 3rd grade.
So it'd have to be, I think, in the 4th or 5th grade.
Okay, so
that's when it was. So I was there for a good question. About maybe 2 to 3 years. I remember because I left, I was accepted into a gifted and talented program.
Yes.
And I was going to a specialized junior high school. And from that time, things kind of tampered down. I wasn't around as much.
Yes.
So I kind of let them know, I'm not around as much. I'm in this school. And we moved also. We moved from Crown Heights to Bed-Stuy.
Yes.
So that really helped out a lot. And I was able to kind of get myself out. It wasn't so much that I couldn't leave. Being on the block meant that's where I was. So when I moved, it was different because it was more a block associated thing. It was gang right on the block in the area. The area is called the Wild Wild West, which is Lincoln Place, between Underhill and Washington, and next block over is St. John. So we used to have shootouts with one another.
Did you fear for your life while you were in the gang?
No. Getting beat up every day was enough to take all the fear out of me.
Okay.
Having a weapon, having company that was involved in activity away from robbing and stealing and selling drugs, it protected me.
Okay,
I didn't
now,
have that protection.
We understand that. Now, moving forward, you did mention you only were in the gang for 2 years and then you left the gang.
Yes.
Talk about that with us. What made you decide to leave the gang? Why did you do it? And how was the experience of leaving? Was it easy or was it kind of hard for them to let you go?
It was easy for me.
Okay.
Every gang is different. Ours was more, what do you want to call it, geographically originated, in that if you're in that area, you're part of the block gang if you join.
Yes.
So it wasn't so much that, okay, I knew certain information and they felt I couldn't go and stuff like that. So when I was moving, I moved into a new territory. I was still young, going to school, so I didn't have the flexibility that I had. And so I was able to get out of it like that. I knew who I worked for, I spoke to them. Where other people, they can't leave. Now I was connected in the sense that if they saw me, I needed help, they would come to my assistance, but I didn't have to work anymore on the block. I was off the block.
I see.
So I wasn't around anymore.
Okay, and they knew you weren't really part of the gang anymore.
Right. So
I see.
That's how that worked out for me. For someone else, it might be a different experience.
What did you want to do at the time? What were you interested in?
I was interested in engineering. I wanted to be an engineer.
Engineering. That's great.
I didn't think in any way that lifestyle would hinder that. I figured that this was going to be temporary.
But you knew it wasn't a good thing.
I knew that.
Okay.
I saw what these guys
And you didn't want to be with it long term. No. What? You said you saw what these guys did. Did you notice or witness really bad situations that made you think in the gang, I have got to get out, or this is not the life I want to live?
All the time.
Like what? Give me one quick example.
Well, on the block where we were, I witnessed myself. I would see at least 3 people get shot to death every week.
3 people a week?
No, that just wasn't just our gang. That was just gangs on the block.
In general?
I would see in general at least 3 people every week being shot to death on the block.
And these were gang members?
These were gang members.
So when you join a gang, the consequences are severe. You know, a lot of people think it's fun, it's cool.
Right,
be down. You want to be down. Come on, let's just do this. It's not a big deal. What do you have to say to someone, perhaps a young person watching this right now, who's in a gang or wants to join a gang? What advice would you give them based on your experience?
There is a way out. Many times we're in a situation and we feel that there's no way there's a way out. We have to seek assistance from somebody. Many a time daddy's not there, maybe mommy's not there, but we have to seek help. Whether it's we go into a church, we ask for prayer, there's somebody older in the family that you feel that you can trust. If it's from money, we need to realize that there's never enough money. You get the Jordans today, the new one comes out tomorrow, and so on and so on thing. So for me, it was finding the Lord, getting baptized, being a part of a church, and actually being involved in the church. I found that there was a young community in the church like myself, and that really helped out a lot. I made that connection through that, and I went from there.
And that helped steer you to a better direction in life.
Yes, it really did.
What would you say to someone who's being bullied? Wow. And who feels like, and they're going through the everyday situation you had to go through every day? What would you say to them?
What I would say for anyone being bullied, you have to seek help. Never feel embarrassed to ask for help or assistance. Usually the people that bully you are bigger than you, they're stronger than you. Maybe they're organized, 2-3 people, they work together, whether to steal your money, whether to hurt you. Seek help and assistance. Let your parents know.
And don't do what you did. You didn't let your mom know.
No, I didn't.
And you ended up joining a gang.
And I could have died.
And you could have died in a gang. It was a very dangerous environment in the gang. People think it's fun and it's cool. Oh, let's just be down. But it's a dangerous situation you're getting yourself into. And luckily you came out alive and in one piece.
Right.
Not everybody gets to tell that. Definitely let your parents know, because there's so much that can be done and you're not alone.
Especially now. Much more now. There's much more now in terms of bullying people that they know this is a negative social phenomenon.
Yes.
And there's much things in place. At my time, there actually wasn't, but now there is.
There are more resources now, and there's more help available now than ever before. So definitely reach out.
Never keep it a secret. That's the thing. Never keep it a secret. Tell somebody.
Yes. All right, very well. And sometimes they're afraid to tell because they think it's going to make them look weak. How can you not protect yourself?
Yeah, of course.
Like, just do it, you know? But it doesn't work like that. It's not about that. You know, there's so much more to it. What would you have to say about that?
If somebody's hurting you, whether it's verbally, physically, you should do something about that. Because if you take that over and over, it's going to lead to either you exploding and doing something that you ought not to do, or you end up being killed in the process. Anything can happen. So I would say, never feel as if you can't do anything about it. Seek help and assistance. Don't stay in a bad situation, because it only leads to worse and worse and worse.
Very well. And there is help available. And there are people who really will believe you and really do care. Yeah. I hope this video was inspiring and helps bring you closer to becoming the very best that you can be. Take care. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Wow, very brave of you.